Welcome to part 3 of creating a free website using WordPress.com. In the previous video, we walked through creating your static and dynamic content by creating pages and posts. And in this video, you'll learn how to upload a header image for your website, so replacing this background image here, as well as customizing your navigation menu, which you see here, and also learning how to add, delete, and customize widgets. And the first thing we're going to do to make these changes is I'm actually going to change the theme. You may recall from the first video, we just sort of selected the first theme that WordPress suggested when we were creating this site. And now I'm going to go in and change the theme to look a bit different. So we're going to go to our dashboard and scroll down to Appearance and click on Themes. So this is showing us the current theme, 2013, which is actually a great theme. It can do a lot of cool stuff for you, but I want to show you something a little different. So we're going to look for a theme called Responsive. So I'm searching here. And the theme is called Responsive. That's actually the name of the theme, but we're seeing a lot of results because responsive is also a description that's often used for themes that automatically respond and reconfigure themselves to the device they're being viewed on, whether it be a home computer, a laptop, tablet, or even a smartphone. So, and again, I'm not sure I ever explained that your theme is essentially your visual framework, layout design, if you will, for your site. So it creates a consistent look and feel across your pages and posts. It does limit some of the customization you can do. So let's look for the responsive theme. Here we go. So this is the theme we're going to select. So I just click on this link right here, Activate. And the theme has been updated. We see right here, new theme activated. So let's just visit the site to see what it looks like. It's pretty simple. So if you didn't have an image that you could place here in the header, you could just leave it just like this with the header and a tagline if you have one. What we're going to do now is I'm going to edit the theme to replace this text with a header image that I've already prepared. So let's go back, and in Appearance we're going to scroll down to Header. So I already have the image prepared on my computer, and despite what this says here of a suggested width of 300 pixels and height of 100 pixels, I would suggest a width of 960 pixels and a height of 330 for this particular theme, should you decide to try the responsive theme. So I'm choosing the theme, and I'm going to select from my folder with all of the materials I've prepared for this website, and I have a header image. Alright, so I've told WordPress where to find the file, and I'm going to click Upload. And here we're seeing a preview, and I'm just going to select the whole thing, and now we press this blue button, Crop and Publish. Alright, so there's one more thing we need to do, but I'm going to show you what this looks like first. So we're going to click Visit Your Site. So here we have the header image with Zoomy and Tango, and I want to replace this title with just this header that already has some text in it. So we're going to hide the title and tagline. When we go back, simply scroll down this page a bit, and here where it says header text, we're going to uncheck this box that says show header text with your image, save changes, and let's take one more look. So you see the title is now gone and the navigation bar is right up against the header image. So that's one simple fix. Now we're going to look at this navigation bar here. And to make changes to this, we're going to go into our dashboard again and scroll down to Appearance and look for Menus. Alright, so now we're going to create a menu. And we already had a navigation menu that appeared on our site as that horizontal menu bar. By manually creating a menu bar here, we can control the order in which each of the pages or menu items appears across that horizontal navigation bar. And we can also do some other customizations. So let's start by creating a menu, which we're going to call Primary Navigation, and click Create Menu. Alright, now here you see some settings, and what we want to do is click this Primary Menu checkbox. Checking these different boxes will determine where this horizontal navigation bar appears on our site. The primary menu bar, I believe in this theme, is going to appear in the same place that we see it now, which was right below the header image. But let's finish building the menu and then test it to see. So to build the menu, we are going to select all of these pages here, the same 3 pages that we already saw in the navigation, and click Add to Menu. Alright, so now the order that they appear from top to bottom is the same order they will appear on our site from left to right. So we want to rearrange these, which is very simple. You just click and drag. And this is how I like them to appear, but I'm going to make one change just to show you an additional feature. And that is, if you wanted to utilize a drop-down menu feature, say you had many more pages than what I've created here, and you wanted to position some content as sub-pages or drop-down menus on your main home page, you'd simply drop that page in here and then put it directly below the menu item you'd like it to appear as a drop-down from, but just slightly offset it. So now you see this reads sub-item. So this is telling us that the gallery is now a sub-item of the About page. So in our navigation bar, it will appear as a drop-down option from the About menu items. We're going to click it on the Save Menu button. And now we're going to visit the site to see what that looks like. So let's just refresh this. Alright, so now we see About and Contact. Gallery is gone because we moved it as a drop-down item of the About page. I don't really want it to appear that way. That was just to show you how simple it is to create drop-down menu items here on this navigation bar. So I'm going to quickly go back and change that by just dragging it back and clicking Save Menu. And there we go. We have our About page, Gallery, and Contact. Now, earlier I mentioned that some of you may not intend to use your website as a blog. And what you're seeing now is a WordPress default. We are looking at this website's homepage. And you'll notice that if you scroll down, we're seeing the 3 posts that I created in reverse chronological order. If you're not going to create posts and you'd like some other content to appear here on your homepage, it's quite simple. All you need to do is go into your dashboard, and under your settings, go to reading, click on that. And here we have in reading settings, front page displays. Now your front page is your home page or the main page that will appear if someone navigates to your website. So right now, the radio button indicates that the front page will display your latest posts. If we don't want it to show our latest posts, but instead some other content, we would select a static page, and then we have to tell WordPress what page should show on the front. And for now, let's just say about, and we'll actually have to create a posts page. We don't have one yet, so I'm going to do something here. Let's abandon these changes, and real quickly we're going to go over to pages, click on that. So we didn't save our changes, we'll come back to that. Click add new. I'm just going to type blog, I'm keeping it simple. This is where I want my blog post to appear, and I'm going to click publish. So now we're going to go back to settings, reading. We're going to go through those same changes again, click a static page for our front page, and it will be our about page, and our posts page will now be blog. Alright, so there's some additional customization you can do here. If you do have blog posts, to tell WordPress how many of your posts to show and to customize this a bit more. I'm going to ignore these for now. And for those of you who do not intend to have any blog posts, just don't select a page here. Leave it on select and you'll be fine. You can just create a bunch of static pages, make sure that this front page or your home page is set to whatever content you would like folks to see when they visit your site. I'm going to change this back to blog since I do have posts, and that's it. Now we're going to scroll down here and click Save Changes. Alright, so let's visit the site once more and see what it looks like. Okay, so now when I'm on the home page, I see my about content, and guess what? The blog page doesn't appear. WordPress is no longer automatically adding these pages to the navigation bar because we created a primary menu. So we have to go back once again, appearance, menus, and we're going to add blog to our menu structure. So click add to menu, and we'll put this right about there. Alright, save menu. Let's take one last look, and there we go. So our home page is now our about content. Our blog posts appear here. Our gallery that we created in the second video, and our contact form. And now, I'm not sure if you noticed this before, but near the right side of the page is what is called a widget. This particular widget is an archive widget, which is creating a link to take folks to our past blog posts. So it's automatically created a link for posts created during the month of September. Over time, as you create more blog posts, if you're creating blog posts, this will auto-populate with additional months, and it will only list the months for which there is content. And clicking on it would take you to that month's content. So if you saw several months here, clicking on each month would take you to that month's content. So we're going to come back to this. I want to show you one last feature of this particular theme that will allow us to customize this home page a bit more. So let's go back to the dashboard. So I want to show you this one customization for this site that I think some of you may really like. We're going to do something that may not immediately make a lot of sense. We're going to go back to our pages. We're going to create one more new page. We're going to call it our home page. Over here in the page attributes, click this menu and select home. And then we're going to select a featured image, which will be this one. And the image size for this particular placement, which you'll see shortly, should be 440 pixels wide by 300 pixels high. And you don't need to remember that. I'll have these notes back on the web on my blog post so that you can refer to this later. But now that we have this selected and we see that it is those same dimensions, let's click Set Featured Image. You see it here in the Featured Image box. And we're not going to put anything here just yet. Just make sure that this is selected as home. We have our featured image. We're going to uncheck these two boxes here and click Publish. All right, now that we have a home page, we are going to go down to Appearance, Customize, and you won't see this option on all of the themes. This is somewhat unique to this particular theme. They all vary in their design elements, so this may be unique to the responsive theme. So look down here on Theme Options, and we are looking for this area here, Home Page, Call to Action, Use Custom Link. Yes. The homepage call to action custom link text, we're going to leave it as read more. And in this box here, we actually want to put the address for our about page, which is, okay. And we also need to change the front page from about. Remember, we changed this in a different location earlier. We're going to change this to home, so the home page appears as the front page. You can see what's starting to happen here. And the post page will still be blog. So now when we click Save, the home page looks a bit different. Now, let's get out of here by canceling. Okay, and now we're going to go back to the site. Okay, so what's happening? What we've done is, instead of a standard page content or showing our blog post, we've created this customized home space. We have our featured image. We have a call to action to read more, which when we click on it, takes us to our about page. So let's go back. The last step that I want to run through here is just to tidy this up a bit. So we are going to edit this landing space here by going back to our dashboard, editing our home page, home, edit, and we are actually going to put a bit of text here. So instead of home, let's call this welcome, and let's just type a little text. All right, so we're going to update this, and let's take a look at the site. All right, so now instead of home, it reads welcome. And the text that we entered into the main content of the page, which you could have a longer message here, follow the adventures of Zumi and Tango in Honolulu. And to learn a bit more about what this page is, we've linked it to the About page, so when you click here, you would learn a bit more. So obviously you could connect this information however it makes sense for your site and your content. This button could link to any page on your website. And the last thing that we'll do is add one additional menu item or button to our navigation bar here. I know we've been doing this a bit out of order, but I'm showing you how easy it is to go back and make changes as you sort of work with the site and get it where you'd like it. So dashboard, appearance, menus, and you don't see the home page listed here. We see the welcome page. Let me click view all. So we're going to add that. And we want it to be at the far left. And instead of welcome, we want it to read home on the navigation bar. We could leave it as welcome, but I'd like it to read home. So I'm going to change that. Typing home here is only going to change the navigation label. The site itself will still be named, the page rather, will still be named welcome, and the welcome text will appear on the home page. So you'll see what I mean when I save this. And let's take one last look at the site. All right, so now we have our home button here, so that if we navigate to any of these other pages, we can quickly jump back to the home page. All right, so this is coming together. It's certainly not perfect. You can obviously tweak these different elements to fit your site and content. But the last thing I want to do is revisit the widgets. So I mentioned this is an archive widget, which WordPress sort of just automatically inserted here. We're going to see what our options are. If you click in this menu here, you could go to the dashboard, but we actually see a shortcut to widgets here. And what you're looking at here on this side is this area right here, main sidebar. Anything that we click and drag from these available widgets into this space will appear in that sidebar where we saw the archives widget. So these are just little bits of information that we can make available there. And this won't appear on the home page because of the way we've configured that, but all of the other pages will have these widgets activated. We don't see the archives in here, so why was it appearing on the site? Again, that's the default widget for this theme. It will automatically show or display that widget if we don't put anything in here. So there's a few things we could do. We can create a follow blog button. So we drag this into the space. And what this does is it allows people to let you know that they would like to know when you post new information on the site. So this is going to be less relevant to those of you who don't plan to use posts, but for those of you who do, it's pretty cool because all you do here is you can change this title if you'd like. What this means is if the person doesn't already follow your blog, this is what they'll see. If they've already clicked the button to follow you, they'll see this notification letting them know or reminding them you actually already follow this blog. And then some text that you can edit here and a button. And what happens is, not going to change anything. You can show the number of followers or not. Let's just click save and see what this does to our site. So I'm going to go to another window and refresh this page. And now we see the widget, follow blog via email. Click to follow this blog and receive notifications of new posts by email. Join one other follower. So if you click this button, you can see that the widget automatically updates to reflect that you are following this blog. So WordPress makes it really easy for your readers to just click that magic button And now anytime you post a new story or update to your site as a post, not as a page, they will get a little email notification letting them know, hey, she just posted some new content that you might want to check out. And it'll have a link that will bring them back to your site to show them that new content. So again, if you don't like the text here, the way it appears, you can customize that here in this widget. So let's just close this. If you decided that you weren't sure you wanted to use it, but you've done some customizations, do not click delete. Instead, close it and drag it down near the bottom of the page into the inactive widget space. Doing this will save your customizations so that should you decide later you want to reactivate this widget, you can simply drag it back up here, and any customizations that you may have made to this text will be retained. If you click delete, you would just have to drag the widget from over here, follow blog, into the same space and rewrite any of your customizations that you've made. Another widget that's quite popular is this text widget. You could pretty much put anything you want in this text widget. However, anything means you might need to know a little bit of simple HTML to do things like add a picture to this box, which really isn't that difficult. It's quite simple, but for now I'm just going to drag this up here to show you how it works. The order that they appear top to bottom will be reflected on the page. So if I put the text box on the top here, it will appear at the top of the widget column on my pages. So we'll write a title, and this is just sort of some arbitrary text just to see what happens when we add this text widget to the site. Let's click save. Always want to remember to click save. And now when we go back to the page and refresh, you can see there's a new widget here that has the title and the text that we had typed in. So this could be any message that you would like to appear consistently across your pages. So you can see how these little boxes could come in quite handy. Should you decide that these are annoying and you have no use for the various available content widgets, you can do one other thing. We'll go back to our pages, click on About, and edit this page just as an example. And again, let's go to the Page Attributes box. Under the template, click the down arrow, and we are looking for full page width, no sidebar. When we select this, we will eliminate the widgets. We will prevent them from appearing on this page. So when we click Update, and now we go back to the About page, you can see these were the widgets that were appearing. When we refresh the page, the widgets are gone, and now the content goes across the entire width of this web page. So that gives you a flavor for how you can utilize the widgets to put some consistent content on some of your pages, how to eliminate the widgets from your pages if you don't have a need for them, and also how this particular theme, Responsive, allows you this kind of cool feature to create some sort of welcome message with a featured image and direct folks to whatever your key content is that you'd like them to read first. So that's it. It's a very simple site, I realize, but the trick really is to getting your good content together, figuring out what it is that you'd like to share on your website, how you'd like to present it, and then starting to organize it in your various pages and in some cases through your blog posts. And you don't have to call this a blog. This could, you could change this page to be named recipes, and each time you create a post, it might be a new recipe, so that when folks clicked on this, they would see a list of your recipes, or perhaps arts and crafts, or updates from your kids or family members. Or if this were your business, it could be updates or tips for your clients. There are countless ways that you could customize these pages and posts to reflect the content that you would like to share and is of interest to your audience. So I hope you found these 3 video tutorials helpful, and good luck and have fun with your WordPress.com site.